So today is 29th October 2020. Today I have a limited time, so we will be doing only the React part and rest object oriented and problem will do tomorrow and some other day, every day. But today we'll only go with the React one. So we finished the project 4 also, and project 4 was select boxes that is using React select utility, and today we'll go with the project 5, and that will be checkbox and radio buttons. I'll save this. So let me open that repo. This is my repo. Okay, let's start first the parse server. I'll go to the new terminal. I'll go to parse server, npm start. Now let's go to the React one. Inside the React one also, I'll go to the terminal and I'll go to client and I'll do npm start. Okay, let it start. And here we will create a new project 5, project 0005, and I'll copy all the contents of project 4. If you are doing along with me, you have already all these files, so you just need to copy and you need to paste it. Okay, so you have to copy the project from the project folder, project 004 to 005, and in the readme I will change it to checkbox and radio button so that I know that I worked on this part in this project. Okay, let's go into the project layout and I'll change this to project 5, checkbox and radio button. Okay, let's do this one and I'll go into the app.js. In the app.js I'll change from project 004 to project 005. Okay, let's close this and I'll close this one. And now we'll go into the widgets. In the widgets, since we want to use the checkbox and radio button, let's create a widget called as checkbox. I will also create another widget called as radio button, so radio.jsx. So we will be using, when I'm creating in the widget, that means these widgets I will be using in many of my projects. So I put it in the widget so that next time I should not create it. It's already available in my utility or in my widget, and I can use it anytime I want it. Many times the project need the modification in some of the widget, and at that time we may copy it to another version, or we may fix the current checkbox.jsx. So depending upon the requirement, I can change the checkbox, or I will create another one, checkbox 2, checkbox 3, to accommodate my requirements. So I'll say RFCE. Okay, so this is my radio button, and this is the checkbox. Okay, so here let me import form from React Bootstrap, and I'll, one second, let me open this one. Okay, same thing, I'll copy this into the radio one, and right now I'll just put radio, and here I'll put the checkbox. Okay, so let me now go to my project file. Okay, let's see now how the site looks, and then let me refresh. So once I get refreshed, I see the checkbox file there. But when I go to add, it's still calling the select box because we haven't changed the code. Now let's go to the code and try to change it. So I will go to add.js in the project file, add.jsx. I don't need select box here because select box are already part of another project. So I'll remove the select box, and also I'll remove the select box here. Here we are working with the checkbox and radio button. So I will be using checkbox and radio button. I will create another version of checkbox. That is because checkbox can be done in two ways. So I'll create another checkbox. I'll name it as checkbox in array.jsx. Okay, RSE. Okay, so this is another version of my checkbox. And in the add.jsx, I'll be importing all the stuff. First, I'll import checkbox from utils checkbox. Second, I'll import radio button from utils radio, and third, I'll import checkbox in array from utils checkbox in array. So now I have three components: checkbox, radio, and checkbox in array. Let's try to use it on the page, though it will not do anything now. It will not do anything because we haven't written the code for it. So I'll first call the checkbox, then I'll call the radio button, and third I'll call the checkbox in array. And if I see the page now, so there is some problem. Module not found. Utils checkbox. Let's check. It's not utils actually, it's widgets. So I put it wrong. It's about widgets. Utils. It's not in the utils. It's in the widgets. Let's check now. So I can see checkbox, radio, and checkbox in array. Okay, so these three things I see. Now we need to make it workable so that radio should display all the radio options. Checkbox should display its checkbox in array, and this checkbox should have its own checkbox. Okay, so this is something we have to build it now. So here, let's define the variable which we will be using. So previously I put this one, I'll delete all this one. I'll be creating the new one. So for the radio button, I'll be using location. Initially I will pass null. And for checkbox, one second. Okay. So for the location, I'll make it null. For this location will be used for the radio button. Then for the checkbox, I'll create two variables. One will be the hobby of hiking. This is a sample one. I'll make it false initially. This is for checkbox. And second, I will create hobby. So for the checkbox, I'll give the multiple hobbies to the user and ask him to choose which hobby he likes. So I'm giving multiple hobbies like this. Movies equal to false. And this one will also be checkbox. Another one will be, I will give some location array. This will be array format. And I will use checkbox in array for this one. And another one I will use as, okay, that's fine, this is fine. For now, this is fine. So I will be using all the three components and I have the respective variable which I will be using it. Same thing if I go into this set variable one, I'll take each one location and I'll put like this, and I'll take hobby hiking and I'll make key as hobby hiking, value as hobby hiking. Then I'll go to hobby movies, I'll make key as hobby movies, value as hobby movies, and last one I will use location array and I'll make the value as location array. So whatever values are there on submission, I'm putting all this in the database. And here I'll change the name of table name. Rather than add 3, I can say testing checkbox. Though it is radio button also, but I'll just name it as testing checkbox. Okay, so this is all done. So once user says submit, I have already the code. I don't have to write it again. I already created the variable here. This is the common 3 variable which I have for all the widgets, for all the add form. This will take the all fields. This will take the error and this will take the loading if it is loading or it's done loading. Okay, so now since we have to call the radio button, here radio button, we have to pass the options to the radio button. So let's create the options here and we'll pass some options in the radio button. So radio button will be many buttons and we have to check one of them button. So this is called the radio button. So for example, if anyone has not seen the radio button, I'll show you the radio button. 1 second. I'll show you the radio button. So if you see this Craigslist website, we have this radio button. So I can choose first one or I can choose second one. Okay, so this is called the radio button. That's what we are trying to build, the radio button now. So here, since if you have seen this one, let me open it again. And it's on. 1 second. Let's where is it? Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So we will be creating the array of objects with first item, second item, third item, fourth item, fifth item, sixth item. So that is what we have to create. We have to create the array and we have to pass the array here in the radio options. So let me create the array, and array will be having the object like this: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have the array and we have the object inside the array, and this object should have one value. What value you will take in the database? I will say SFO, and then it will be label. What will be the value label the user will be able to see? So I can write city of San Francisco. Okay, so one of the object is done. Let's fill the second object now. I'll say value is South Bay area and label is South Bay area. Okay, so I'll fill all this one. I'll fill all this one in this one. So I already have written it. So I will not waste time in writing this again. So let me do it again. Okay. So now I'm not getting out of it something. Yeah. So we have the options with value and label, value and label, value, label, value, label, value, label, value, label. So when user will see, he will see this one. But when he select the radio button, he will take this value inside the database. Radio button should also have title where I can say choose the location that fits best. So this is the title user will see, and I'll name it as location, and value will be, it will be nothing but this one, the first one, this one, and it is called this form values dot location. So value will be form value dot location, and when user will change, I'll call on change equal to, I'll write the function which I need to call when user will change the values. So I'll say handle change is the function. Okay, so handle change. Now what handle change will do? Let's see. So handle change will take the E, because it is the radio button. So it will take the event, and we have to say E dot persist in the first case, that persists the value for it. All the time this handle change will not give error, but sometime it gives error, so we need to put this E dot persist so that it can save the information, and whenever you do new one, it clears the old one and take the new one. So to handle that, we use E dot persist, and name will be E dot target dot name, and value will be E dot target dot value. This is how we do in the input box also. Same thing we are doing it here, same. No change for this handle change. So I call the handle change here. Now I will take use of all these variables inside my radio button, and see if it works. Okay, so let's go into the radio button and add all this information. Okay, so we are in the radio button. So what things I am getting it? I will get it as the props. Props will give me all the information which is coming from there, from the previous page. So here I will first add form.label, and I'll give some style, font weight equal to bold, and margin top equal to 10 pixel. This is optional, just I'm giving for display purpose. You can skip it also. And here I have to display the title. So I am passing title this one. To use that title, I will say props.title. Okay, now I get options also, so I'll take use of these options. Okay, so take use of the options. I will I will write down like this. I'll say if options are coming, so I'll say props dot options. Props dot options. That is, if I'm getting options and props dot options dot length, its length should be greater than 0. Since we are passing array, it has length also, and the length should be greater than 0. And if these two things are true, then I'll call the map function. Map function will be props dot options dot map. So I'll call the map function. Map will go through each of the array item and it will give me the key value pair. Here I will write the arrow function. Inside the arrow function I'll get item and index. So since it's an array, I will get index as 0, 1, 2, 3. And item will be nothing but this one. This whole object is called item. Okay, so this item will get it as item. Second case, this is the item. Third case, this is the item. Fourth case, this is the item. So I am getting item and I'll return something. What I have to return it? I have to return the radio button. So for that, in the React Bootstrap, we have form.check. And this form.check should have few parameters. What are the parameters form.check expect? One is called the type equal to radio. Since I pass radio, that means it will render the radio button. It should have the name, which is coming in the props. I'll say props.name. Since if you go here, we are passing the name. That name is here. Okay. Now I will also say key equal to whenever we look through the map, we should provide the key also, otherwise it will give warning, and key will be nothing but the index. This index. Then we have label equal to item dot label. So we get this label each time when we loop, we get label and value. So we have to say label and then we have to also say value equal to item dot value. And on change equal to, so when we change it, I need to call this handle change. So I'll say on change equal to handle change. Now, whenever let's see how it works first, and then we'll edit a little bit more. Okay, so let's see. So handle change is not defined. Since we have done handle change in the props, so we have to say props dot handle change. Yeah, props dot handle change. Someone. Okay, so now. This is a checkbox. This is a checkbox in array which we have not done. So this is the radio button part. So when I click Peninsula or this one, I don't see this form value getting updated. Okay, so I don't see form value getting updated. Why is it so? Okay, so this is not the on change, we have to use handle change. Okay, this is not the on change. So I created the handle change, but I have to keep the key handle change because I'm using key as handle change here. Okay, now if I do city of San Francisco, you will see location is San Francisco. If I do South Bay area, so you will see South Bay area equal to this location. East Bay, I'm getting East Bay area. So this is how we are getting the checkbox and its value. Okay. We may need to modify this one once we go with the edit part. Right now it's working, so it's fine. But when we go with edit one, I need to modify it because we pass the value here, but we are not taking use of that value here. Though this value is different than what we are passing this value. This value is selected one. And so when we go with the edit one, right now we are adding the records. So this is working fine. But when we go with edit one, we have to modify this and we'll come back here to modify it. Okay. So right now let's keep it like this and we'll go with this one right now. Okay. So we can take this one here like this. And we are updating in the database. Now I'll click the submit. Though checkbox and checkbox in array will not work, but at least I want to see how this thing is added in the database. So when I click submit, it is submitted in the database, and we'll see in the database how it looks. So I have testing checkbox. Here you will see. So don't worry about hobby movies, which is something called as checkbox, which we are not doing it. Location array also will do later. And hobby hiking is also checkbox, so we have not done that part. The only part we have done is the location. We are getting now East Bay. Let's try to add it again. Maybe I can say City of San Francisco. And I'll refresh the page. So I can see now it is SFO. So we are able to see the database update when we change the radio, when we select it and we submit it. Okay. So today I have to go somewhere, so we'll be done with this one. So we completed the radio button part. Tomorrow we'll finish the checkbox and checkbox in array, and we'll also take problems and object oriented part also.